All right, welcome back to Cricket for Americans. Nick here, and I am excited. I cannot wait to talk about these two matches because amazingness has happened, if that's a word. Amazing thing have happened because of Test cricket. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for waiting around. Thank you for starting the comments already. I'm seeing some nice conversations between Drew, the doctor, Renell. What's happening, everybody? Andrew Cook, how you doing? Harsh, what is happening as well? Appreciate everyone that's here. I got to move that out of the way. I can't wait to talk about these matches. Gabe says he's going to try to come on, but he's got a very, 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 very busy night. I'm posting Cricket Tuesday very late because I want to wait for him to be able to get on. Got 50 of us in here right now. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Raw is fuzzy. Let me know if the video is fuzzy or not. The doctor says crow biryani for your dinner. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that. Let me just get some shout outs here. Hello, everyone. Kumar, Furzy, Drew, Rajesh, Renel. Already said Kumar, Shrujan, Anurag, Jack, what's up from the Dibbly Dobbly podcast? Sirioja, Monkey, Mira, Muhammad, Vishal, Laughter Express, Varun, Jaden, Phil. Oh, and the rest, right? And the rest. What an amazing last 24 hours we have had. And I'm not going to lie. It has been insane. I'm hearing that the video is not too good. It's because I'm trying to load a video. And let me get this turned off for right now. Maybe that'll help. I'm so excited to talk about this, but I got to make sure that all my equipment is set up. And this should help the video. Please be patient with me. Thank you so much for those 71 that showed up. I am working on the video right now so that it looks better. What's up, Kavan? What's up? Aaliyah. What a win. Absolutely. Raviraj. Hope I'm saying that right. Rosh Ratchet. How are you doing? All right. Gabe is coming on. And not a moment too late because my video is not too fuzzy. I can see Gabe right there. He'll jump in when he can. I'm waiting for everything to load up. Oh, man, I'm so excited to talk about these. We're going to start talking about West Indies. I'm going to need to wait just a few minutes for my device, for my internet to catch up. But we're going to start talking about the West Indies, and then we're going to get to India. Don't you worry about that. We are going to get to India 100%, saving what I call the best for last. But the West Indies, they had themselves quite a match as well. They had themselves quite a match. Gabe, I'm going to let you talk about your opening thoughts with the West Indies as I reset a few things in my house so I can make sure that everything is 100%. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Gabe, I know you need way more time than that. Take it away, my friend.
What's going on, CFA Nation? What's up, Renell, Minatim, Harris, Dibley, Shiroza, the Doctor, Muhammad, Rajesh. It's funny. Renell was like, "No, Gabe, what's up, Kush?" Samiva. I've got like what's a word? I'm like always afraid, all right, of when my squad plays. Because of mush, right? You know what I mean? So the West Indies, the most recent tour they had, right, when they were touring Pakistan, a team which and again, no disrespect to Pakistan fans, but the West Indies should handle Pakistan, and even when the West Indies are in a position to win a game, it got rained out. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And then, of course, we actually ended up losing that one game by like 7 runs. And I'm like, they're not as dominant as I want them to be. Let me adjust my screen a little bit here. Because, I know they're automatically in because they're the reigning T20 champs. But I haven't seen the dominant performances that I want to see. And today's or the recent victory for Test is huge, right? Because you expect them to perform well in limited format, especially T20. Which again, if the rain wasn't an issue and the games didn't get like delayed or not even played or whatnot, then the West Indies probably ends up winning that series against Pakistan. But for me, I'm like, I want to see the dominance of T20. They've kind of been hit or miss right now. So I'm still waiting to see that dominant performance because they're going to have to bang with New Zealand. And we've seen New Zealand. New Zealand gave Australia all they could handle. I remember watching that T20 match live with them. So I want to make sure that they're ready and up for the challenge because I want the West Indies to retain that T20 championship. With that being said, what's up, Raul? What's up, Gabe, Fan, Harris, Jay, Joy, Varun? Let's talk about the test match. And the test match is so impressive to me because you would think that this isn't their strength. Bowling is really a Pakistan strength, right? They really got good bowlers. But the boys showed up. The boys showed up and ended up winning. And I was looking through the scores when Nick and I were talking about, and I'm like, I want the West Indies to be up there, to be one of the top 4 squads. Right now, they're in the bottom with Sri Lanka, the bottom half, obviously. South Africa, they're not up there with England, with India, with New Zealand and Australia. Even though, honestly, let's talk about Australia for a little bit. Australia's in trouble, man. Australia's in trouble. Even with what happened with England right now, seeing how well Joe Root's been playing, I think Australia may be in trouble for the Ashes. That's just my opinion. Pakistan set the game up because of poor batting. Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. It wasn't the bats. I mean, the bats for West Indies did enough, but it was the bowling. What normally lets the West Indies down, the bowling. And I'm like, okay, if we can get good bowling, consistent bowling, then the West Indies bats are decent enough to be able to bang with at least the Englands of the world. You know what I'm saying? New Zealand and India, I think, are on a different level. But yeah, the West Indies bowled well. And I'm super excited to talk about some of these performances. I'm just waiting for Nick to get back here. I know he had a few technical difficulties. But for me, it's always with the bowling. Even in this India game we're going to talk about later, and England, the bowling. I love it when the bowlers absolutely dominate. Somebody says Australia will beat England in the Ashes. 4 drop catches by Pakistan. If Azja was here, he would say for sure, that Pakistan's defense is absolutely horrid. We've seen it all year. Every time I watch a game with Azja, and he talks about it, they need to bring in a different defensive coach. They need to bring in some New Zealand's defensive coach because they are very technically sound and clean. And every time I watch Pakistan games, they're always dropping catches. They're always out of position. It's absolutely atrocious. But yeah, some of those things help the West Indies win. But that's Pakistan all the time. All right, so let's not just act like this just happened. What's up, Nick?
Some of those drops. What's up, guys? Some of those drops, especially on day 4. I mean, think about it. I mean, what Pakistan was able to do in that second innings for West Indies when they were batting, what Pakistan was able to do on the bowling side was miraculous. West Indies only need like a 168 or something like that, which I know is not like a super small score, but it's a pretty small score. And they had plenty of time to do it. And, Shaheen Afridi and his boys were able to come in and take out some wickets. I mean, the tail end, and we're going to talk about how I cursed the tail end for India and West Indies in a positive way. Reverse mush. But, man, Pakistan was coming at the West Indies, and there was a point where I was like, West Indies is going to mess this up. They're going to blow this, but I'm telling you, there were 2 huge drops that could have been the 8th wicket and then the 9th wicket earlier on, and that would have been it for West Indies. I'm not going to say West Indies got lucky because of the drops, because drops happen. But, man alive, some of those drops were huge, and they were killer. Yes, catches win matches, Jack. Absolutely correct. But I loved, like you had mentioned, the bowling. I put Jaden Seals on our thumbnail because this guy got himself 8 wickets in the match. He got himself a fifer in that second one.
Fifer. Oh, it's so sexy.
This guy's a monster. And I was doing the little eraser app thing to get just his picture in there. This guy's chiseled. I mean, it's just straight lines everywhere. This guy is like picturesque or whatever you want to call it. But he was an animal. Jason Holder in the first inning on both sides was fantastic. But Seals, he was there. You had Blackwood with a half century. You had Brathwaite with a 97 as an opener. I mean, West Indies showed some life. Don't worry about was still mad about what happened, but Pakistan is no slouch. Pakistan is no slouch. This is in Sabrina Park, so this is in West Indies territory. But West Indies showed up, and if I'm a West Indies fan, I am super excited for what I'm seeing right here and the captainship of what's happening right here with the new captain.
Don't forget about the veteran Kamar Roach. You know what I'm saying? Every time I watch, they talk about his age and how long he's been bowling. And Kamar Roach is a veteran, but he's still getting wickets, bro. All right, I think he got 3 in the first and 3 in the second innings. My man, and he leads the team. You know, he keeps that economy rate down. I think he was 1.7 in the first one and like 2 in the second one, something like that, or 2.2. I mean, he's just steady. You know what I'm saying? He's steady, like you said. Holder, he's always steady. I love Jason Holder, bro. Whether it's in tests or even in T20 in the IPL, he always comes through. But to Renell's point earlier, our bowling carried us. You know why I'm disappointed? Because of the bats, Nick. And the bats have let us down in T20. We lost a T20 match to Pakistan. Yeah, I'm still steaming about that. 157, 150.
Pakistan is no slouch.
Stop it. All right. No, West Indies should not lose a T20 match to Pakistan. And then even here, the bowling had to come through because our bats, you know what I mean? Our bats just have not been up to par, man. And I'm like, come on, but you're right. Let's look at the positive. I love Seals. Oh, who said bring back Campbell? Let's invest. How dare you?
Absolutely. That was the missing piece to a more dominant performance.
That's what's going to fix it, right? Campbell. Come on, man.
Hey, all I'm saying is Myers, Bonner, and Powell. And you want to throw in Seals in there if you want. You know, they got combined for 0, right? They got combined for 0. If you came here to listen to India talk, we are going to talk about it in just a little bit. We're going to talk about just about a few minutes here. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so. But the Pakistan match is the first test in this series. Pakistan, West Indies. It's a huge match. And Pakistan had some big performances too. Shaheen Afridi, he is one of my favorite bowlers in all of cricket. And he got 2 fours. I mean, he was so consistent, so stoic in what he's able to do. You had some good batting performances here and there. You had Babar Azam, he combined for like 80-something. You had Alam with the half century. You had Ashraf with 44. Yeah. You had Hassan Ali and whatnot with 28. The fact that he went down when he went down, that really, really killed the momentum for Pakistan in their second innings. But Pakistan, even in the first innings, they were able to get some big wickets in the second innings. But I mean, and Babar Azam with his 55. But with what the West Indies was able to do, like you said, the bowling and then the batting when you need it, even though you had some collapses here and there, super, super impressive. And you got to be super excited.
You know, again, as a West Indies fan, I want the trajectory to go up, okay? Again, we're not building, and that's what I think you don't understand, Nick. We're not building when it's T20. We're defending champs, all right, cousin? So we should be smacking everybody. And
what you're saying. I got you.
When we went in there against New Zealand, I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? I underestimated how good New Zealand is. And in all facets, I absolutely did. But man, they held court, cousin. I was like, oh, this is rough, you know what I mean? And then in Pakistan, granted, the rain, we got 2 games washed out against the rain, rained out against Pakistan in that T20 series. But you don't want to draw against them. Are you serious right now? And they won a game. I'm like, come on. But, this is to me more impressive because the test team has been bad for a while. And I think it's starting to go in the right direction. All right. In the right direction. And that's what I want. I want to see SEALs out there all the time now. I want to see Mares out there all the time now. Jason Holder continues to be a stalwart. The answer is not. Please do not say, guys. Somebody better not say to me, "Oh, good. Let's go ahead and bring back Campbell."
I don't disagree with this comment. Campbell's better than Sibley. We'll get to that in a few seconds.
Oh, I'll take Campbell over Sibley.
But to Renell's point, she says we won by 1 wicket. By the way, 1. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm excited for West Indies fans. It wasn't a dominant performance. It was super, super close. This was 2 teams that were very, very well balanced on these 4 days. And in 4 days, not 5. On these 4 days, super balanced. But West Indies, when that collapse was happening, they were able to prevent the collapse from finally happening. I know my video is still a little fuzzy. I'm uploading Cricket Tuesday right now. Once that's done uploading, then I'll be back in shape. But it was such an exciting match. 1 stinking wicket. Pakistan was coming. All those drop catches. So much craziness going on. It seemed like at one point that the West Indies, they were just reeling and they were trying to find some stability. Even Holder couldn't give them the stability in the second innings.
Right.
But yeah, now I bet you were nervous. But I mean, it was they pulled it out. They pulled it out. And Pakistan fans, you've got to be heartbroken. You got to get sick to your stomach for what happened. And you were so close, but they had quite the performance. Very similar in the India-England match. Quite the performance to try to get back in there.
Now, Nick, let me ask you a question. Hindsight's 2020, right? Hindsight's 2020. But if Azjad was here, he would say typical Pakistan, bowls well, batting collapse here and there, but the fielding is what lets them down. At what point do you just say, we got to go ahead and just change the approach? Let's burn it down. Let's bring in, and not saying that there aren't any good Pakistani fielding coaches, but you see how other countries go to, former coaches and say, let me bring in and see what they're doing. If I'm any team, I don't care if it's the West Indies, because we're from the West. Yeah, listen, there's a reason why Campbell is on my Sinister 6, all right? Big drop. That's why he got on there, because if not, we could have at least drawn that match in England against England. But whatever. I'd be going to New Zealand because their fielding is impeccable. They seem to always have whether it's a man in fine leg or a man in third man. It's like they always have fielders in the right position. I joke and say these guys got 10,000 fielders out there. No, it's sabermetrics. They do the analytics. They know where people are going to hit the ball. And
they have someone at cow corner?
You know what I'm saying, bro? And they always able to field properly. So at what point does Pakistan say, let's burn it down and let's just bring in a fielding coach that from New Zealand, New Zealand's program to figure this thing out? Because unfortunately, I mean, let's be real, guys. If you're a Pakistan fan, it's the same old. How many drop catches going to be? If I'm a West Indies fan, this is what we need. We got to get away from the Campbells. I love Shannon Gabriel with a passion, but the guy's always hurt. Can't hold a stick. Start bringing in some of that new blood. So everybody's saying right now, Jordan Seale's greater than Shannon Gabriel. I love Shannon Gabriel. He's my favorite West Indies bowler. But the guy's always hurt, Nick. The guy's always hurt. All right, Mr. Glass, and can't hold the bat. Like, it's like he's disgusted to hold the bat. You know what I mean? Bring in the kids. Bring in the new guys if they're going to turn the program around. I'm okay with it.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to be stoked that you're able to survive that match. It was an exciting match for all cricket fans around. And I mean, it was something for the ages for sure. And it was great that I was able to catch it this weekend. People keep talking about this awesome weekend. It was a fantastic weekend. But now, it is time to talk about India, England, because at Lord's, right? I mean, the place where basically they drew up the rules of cricket, for crying out loud, was in this stadium on that hallowed ground. The ground that Gabe will never be allowed to go to because he'll mush it forever, for crying out loud. But we are talking about England, India. They drew the first test match, And in the second test match, I got so excited that I created a new segment. Let's talk about which we're on right now. 151 to join us. Thank you so much for doing so. Don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to this one's liking, and don't forget to subscribe. But I got so excited at the high score that India had in their day one, 276 for 3. I was walking on water. And then Joe Root happened with his 150 million runs, 180 runs to be exact, in his first innings, and brings England back to the point where they scored more than India scored in the first innings, for crying out loud. And I'm just sitting here like, oh, man. So fast forward to this morning.
India was 364. England put up 391. When I saw 364 in the first inning, I'm like, oh, boy. Oh, boy. India's coming back with a vengeance, because people are saying they shouldn't have even drawn out that last game. Although, you know what I mean? It is what it is. They couldn't.
They're on
Joe
the road,
Root's
right?
Been on
you
fire.
expect a whitewash on the road? I don't think so. I don't care.
I'm just saying, people saying
England is.
People are saying, yes, as hobble as England is, of course, no Stuart Broad, no Jofra Archer, no
don't forget
Ben
their best
Stokes.
player. Don't forget their best player.
No Ben Stokes. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
not their best player. That's not their best player.
No Chris Wilkes.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like,
Captain
they should have not drawn that first game. India should have won that first game. But, bro, there's a guy, honestly, Joe Root, who's absolutely amazing. We're going to talk about him a little bit. So, out the gate, India came out, bro. And when I saw that first inning, I was like, oh, India's not playing. 364, they're coming to break. And England smacked them with 391. Hold that, cousin. You know what I mean? After, by the way, let me just get this off my chest.
Tom Curran.
Nick, let me ask you a question. In cricket, and let us know in the chat. We don't know. We're still novices to cricket. Is there tenure in cricket? Is there tenure in cricket where you can't get fired like those professors in college that got tenure? Because Burns has tenure. Burns has tenure. This guy just gives up duck after duck after. I don't get it. I don't get it. Who's he related to? Is he related to the Queen? All right. Is he part of the royal family? Gosh, it's unbelievable. You can't find anybody better. Anyone. It's insane, bro. Insane. Right. Another duck. I just had to get that off my chest.
Man, always so much hatred. This is a happy time, okay? I woke up this morning. The match starts 3 a.m. my time. I woke up around 6 a.m. or something like that. And I look at the match, and I'm like, oh, India, they were able to score. No. I woke up earlier than that, and they were at like 180 for 6. Maybe that was beginning of the day. I don't know. I wasn't feeling too good about it. And then I woke up, and all of a sudden I see that they got to like 270 or 280. I'm like, how'd that happen? With this tail end, how'd that happen? We'll get to that in a second. But then I got so excited, getting ready for work. I'm like, oh, they're going to win. And then it dawned on me, Nick, there's like less than 2 sessions left, and England has all 10 wickets. This is going to be a stupid draw. I was so mad. I could not believe it. I didn't even get a chance to check it until work was done because we were so busy today. I could not believe that India bowled them out. So let's rewind a little bit to the end of the second innings. Let's rewind a little bit to a few days ago. Who did I call out? The doctor was saying I got to eat some crow, all this kind of stuff. I said the tail enders for India was horrible. I said they were the worst in the entire cricket game. And then we had some mathematicians say, actually, no, the West Indies, 8, 9, and 10 batters are worse than India's. Okay, the West Indies tail end is bad. What part of the team saved both of those teams in these 2 matches? The tail end, baby. India's found its tail end. I don't know where it's been. I don't know if it's been tucked this entire time. I don't know if it was like a reverse eighth Ventura. That's a deep cut if you know what I'm talking about. But that tail end was found, and it was used, and you had guys like Bumrah pulling their weight. You had a 56 or 58 from Shami. Right. Shami, of all people. This guy was losing his mind. The tail end showed up and gave him another 100 runs, right, which was just unbelievable. What about that tail end, Gabe?
Well, we were bad-mouthing him, just saying. Oh, man, we were bad-mouthing him. And apparently they watch CFA. I didn't realize they're fans, you know what I mean? Because he said, I can't hold the bat. I'll show you. I know which way to hold the bat. And they went off, cousin. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, bro, they went off. And let me correct myself. In the first innings, yes, Sibley had 11 and Burns had 49. It was the second innings that both of them went out for 8 balls, Nick. Not 8 runs, 8 balls. Both of them had ducks. when you need it. Okay, but that's why England lost, by the way, because that game should have been a draw, but unfortunately they couldn't even stand up there for. They couldn't get 2 overs, Nick. That's less than 2 overs. Bye. Both openers gone.
And let me tell you, to that point, since you brought that up, this was the difference in this second innings. This was something I have not seen in a long time. I can't say never. I have not seen in a long time. I'm talking about a few months here with India. They were able to start the second inning with early wickets. I could not believe my eyes when I was looking at this, and the wickets were dropping here and there at the beginning of England's second innings. To your credit, 8 balls, 0 runs. There was 1 run from a wide or some nonsense like that.
That was 1
You
for
had
2.
Bumrah, you had Shami. They got early wickets. I'm going to give some credit to Kohli here. I really am. First of all, for his intensity, for how you can see in his eyes after that 3rd wicket fell that he actually believed that they were going to come back and they were going to win that match. I'm completely convinced of that. I loved how his usage of, and I'm going to get to my favorite guy in a second about this, but his usage of Siraj. He had Siraj, I think he had like 4 overs, and then he just sat him. He put him in the parking lot for like 3 hours instead of even think about coming out. You go to California for crying out loud.
Bro, I love me, Lord Siraj.
But he kept going with his horses, Boomer, Shami, Ashant. He was using it beautifully in that combination. And those early wickets, that was something I had not seen in a long time. Boomerang showed up. I just had to say that because you don't see those early wickets early on, and that just killed the partnership. And then Root's sitting there like, I'm already in here right now? Are you kidding me? I didn't finish my coffee yet. Right. Keep going.
Here's the thing. Root had a little bit of help. Here's where I'm gonna eat some crow, and I'm hoping Dr. Jihan. I'm one of the few guys that's like, man, I hope the guy's not on right now. I'm hoping Dr. Jihan's not on right now, bro. Really, really, because he lets me have it all the time. So Bairstow's trash, huh, Gay? I can hear it now. Bairstow, 57, right? Got himself a half century. Nick, I think he should be in the side permanently. And I'm talking about even after they get back. I'm telling you, even after Stokes is back, even after they're full side, Bairstow has, as much as I hate to admit it, look at his last few tests. He's doing better than Burns and Sibley for the love of
His 2 for 24 balls. That convinced you to keep him after your Bairstow's garbage rant?
How about his 57 that he put up? All right. I mean, come on. And
not when it mattered. Dude, how many overs did they have? Did they have like 4 overs and they lost the entire match? It was crazy. Sorry, keep going. I'm so fired up.
But what I'm saying is, I think that he belongs in the side. I know people like to say, oh, he's a limited player. He's an ODI player. Stop it. All right? Let him play. As much as Bairstow drives me crazy, the dude can rake. Is he going to throw his wicket away from time to time? Yes. His hot pocket's in the microwave, all right? Sometimes he's going to throw it away. It is what it is. But he's at least going to give you put up those big scores, and I think that he belongs. I think that England right now, this is why India should have won the first match. This match, to me, is even more surprising they won it because Joe Root's just been unbelievable. But again, at some point, they will get back Ben Stokes, right? They will have your boy Chris Wokes. So I believe that there's better things to come for England. And let's just talk about Joe Root for 1 second. Nick, is he the best player in cricket right now? Best test playing cricketer? He's got to be.
He's the best
batsman. Got to be for at least the last 6 months. This guy's in great form. He's carrying England, carrying on his back. The guy's got a backache, bro. He gets out there for the match and he's like, let me get 6 Advil, make it 7. Or Burns is back in the lineup, make it 8. He got to pop like 8 of them, bro, because he's carrying this team on his back. Joe Root has been unbelievable, and I know I love to tease you. I backed you up when we said, hey, Joe Root's trash. He doesn't belong up there with Kohli. He doesn't belong up there with the 4, the Fab 5 or no. Wow. Joe Root is amazing, and we were wrong. I just feel bad that all these performances are for naught because he's out there on an island, basically, Nick. He's out there on an island. It's him. It's him. It's Bairstow. Where's Butler gone, by the way? Butler's got to be more consistent than that, bro. He's got to be more consistent than that. And man, I mean, for all you England fans that back when in the West Indies were like, oh, Jofra Archer's not that good. Are we missing Jofra Archer? Just saying, are we missing Jofra Archer? Okay? Being so honest, people were like, oh, he can't. Yes, I get it. He's not going to give you a Jimmy Anderson type innings. He's not going to go 30, 40 overs. But the guy gets wickets. The guy gets wickets. No Jofra Archer. To your point, Chris Wilkes, man, he's a big part of this team as well. I think that this team, if they get those players back, don't you feel like the way Joe Root's playing, and I keep saying it, I think they're going to give, if they don't win the Ashes, bro, they're going to definitely give Australia a run for their money.
They've got a lot of pieces. They've got a lot of pieces that need to come back.
Look at Renil. Renil says Archer gets hurt twice a month. That's hilarious. But he gets wickets, man. And I was saying, man, this guy's amazing.
They're missing a lot of pieces. To your Joe Root point, he has, I think it's been every inning so far in this series. It's been 2 matches. He has scored the most runs on his team in every inning so far. I'm going to double check it right now. Absolutely. He has scored the most runs in every single innings of 4 innings in this series so far.
Right.
His last 8 or 9 or 10 months, it might be something that, let's say it's just like stops today. Like, let's just say the well dries up and he's not as dominant anymore. You're going to be talking about those 10 months for years to come. That's how impressive it is. He did everything he could. And when they got his wicket, you saw
it's
Kohli erupt.
It's over.
You saw the Indian players absolutely erupt. It was the biggest wicket so far in this series, in my opinion. I mean, it was just a huge wicket. Bumrah, Kohli got the catch, and Kohli lost his ever-loving mind, and I love seeing his passion. The one thing I want to say about Kohli is I want to see that same passion as a batsman. I want to see that same fire as a batsman. Now, his 42 in the first innings was huge. It helped out extremely. But I want to see that. But still, the way these guys came together, people keep talking about the Gabba. It reminded me a lot of the Gabba. But in difference this time, they weren't chasing. They were trying to bowl them out. England couldn't even get to 52 overs. There was a minimum of 8.5 overs left in the day. All they had to do was to get to 60 and not get bowled out. And they couldn't do it, not against these Indian bowlers. And from what I saw watching the highlights, people were asking for no video reaction. I've already seen the highlights. Ladies and gentlemen, I teared up a few times. That's how pathetic and huge of a fan I am about this. It was absolutely phenomenal. These are the wickets for the Indian bowlers in the second innings of England's second innings. Bumrah, then Shami is shot. Bumrah is shot. And then we have the man, the myth, the legend, I'm going to call it now, the legend of Lord Siraj. This guy, you cannot tell me, Gabe, you cannot tell me, no one can convince me that he's not their best bowler right now on the Indian squad. I don't care about best new bowler. He's their best bowler right now. Why do I say this? Because so far in a series in Australia, he led everyone with wickets. All the Indian bowlers. And yes, there were some injuries. He didn't even bowl every match. In England, at Lord's, we call him Lord Siraj, which came as a joke earlier on. He literally is Lord Siraj because he owns Lord's right now. We thought Chris Wilkes owned Lord's. Lord Siraj owns Lord's. This guy came in, and another thing that Indians struggle, they struggle to take out early wickets. They struggle with the tail end, and they struggle to get tail enders out. And Lord Siraj, he took care of that problem today. He got Butler later on. He got Moeen Ali. He got Sam Curran, another golden duck. Sam Curran in this test match, 0 runs on 2 balls, 2 golden ducks. Ouch. Tom Curran's like, even I could have done that better than that. And then he also got Jimmy Anderson. You're going to sit there. The chat's going to say this. Gabe might say this. I don't care. Don't tell me, well, look at the wickets that he got. No, look at the situation that he got those wickets. Right. Look at the situation where we've seen England's tail end wag a little bit. Look at the situation. He slammed the door shut. And that last ball, did you see that last ball, that last wicket that he threw, that 10th wicket? That was beautiful. It was absolutely phenomenal. And yes, it was Jimmy Anderson. I get it. But it was a phenomenal ball. And not only that, but it ricocheted off the stump. And then there was actually a great catch on the other end. It didn't matter because he bowled him out. And I loved how he celebrated because he's running towards the stumps because he's celebrating. He got the final wicket. And as he walks by, he takes the outside leg stump and he takes it with him. Lord Siraj is possibly my favorite Indian cricketer alive right now. Honestly, I want to do a video. I don't care how many views it gets, where I talk about the career of Lord Siraj so far.
Right.
And he is the legend in my mind of Lord Siraj. I love this guy so much. And that's where I got the most emotional watching that highlight video that's on the England Cricket Channel, watching him get those wickets and watching him celebrate. And last thing I'm going to say before I turn over to you is, Gabe, this is going to be fodder for you, my friend. They had Kohli actually won 2 reviews, 2 overturned calls in 60 or less overs. We got to get the job done. He reviewed 2 of those umpires' calls that were both wrong, and they got those wickets. And, I mean, just to see his celebration each time was absolutely phenomenal.
Bro, did it seem like Kohli, because I saw one of those reviews, did it seem like Kohli was sledging the umpires? Like, get it right! Get it right for the love of Pete.
I think there was one that he reviewed it before they said not out. he already busted out the horn.
Bro, what's wrong with you guys? I think I left that alone because sometimes you got to let these umpires know, do your job. We're out here doing our job. Do your job. And I don't want to, I'm not Mr. Conspiracy Theorist. Yes, I am. But I don't think that these umpires are butt off. Honestly, I think they're just bad because you see it all the time. But it was like, I felt like he almost was sledging the umpire with that one call. Because you're right. He was calling it before the umpire was even done making up his mind. It was insane. I love that. And people are going to say, oh, that's showing up the umpire. I don't care. Do your job, okay? With that being said, Pujara played 50 overs himself. Bro, that's my point, all right? Burns and Sibley combined for less than 2 overs. Don't tell me, oh, Burns scored 50-something a couple matches ago. But Burns is a liability, guys. He's a liability, and at some point, you got to recognize that. With that being said, Jimmy Anderson...
not much better.
Jimmy Anderson did his job, right? Jimmy Anderson's got himself 5 wickets, got himself a 5 for in this match, but he missed his partner in crime. He missed Stuart Broad, and now you guys can't tell me, oh, they don't miss a job for Archer. Yes, they would. With his pace, okay, with the way he throws those bouncers, listen, they missed job for Archer. I feel like they were missing an intimidator. Somebody is going to go out there and beat you up, okay? And you didn't see too many, at least I didn't see too many Indian batsmen having a duck. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or, listen, when you play Australia, one thing you know is that you're going to get beat up. Ask Muhammad Shami what it was like when he was out there with his arm hanging. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to beat you up. Like, you can't let a guy get comfortable. And I'm not saying go out and hurt somebody. But it felt like the batsmen were almost comfortable as I'm watching this. I'm like, throw a bouncer at somebody's head. All right? Hit him. Do something. Like, I don't understand that. Throw a Yorker. Hit him in the toe. I cannot understand that, bro. And that's where you need that intimidator, because we all know Jofra Archer is not afraid to put one in your ribs or put one in your shoulder. And if it happens to hit your head, it hit your head, cousin. Sorry, Steve Smith. That's just how he is. You know what I mean? You need that guy on the team that's going to bully the opposition. But I'm not going to take anything away from India. They did it on the road. They did it in conditions that are favorable to England, obviously. Lords. India has taken down the Gabba now and Lords, so you got to give all the credit to India. This is a great program. And to your point, I think the difference is everybody expects India to win at home because they play spin very well and they got some great spinners. But now that you've got Lord Siraj, who's another legit, it's not just Bumrah or Muhammad Shami, but Ishaq Kashan, who, let's be honest, he's been hit or miss, especially the times we've watched him. But, bro, Siraj just handles the pressure. And I remember you loving this guy in the IPL, and Kohli would berate him. Being Kohli's teammate, it's got to be a tough thing. Yeah, because if you drop a catch or if you give up a 6 or whatever, he's just going to give you that look. And you know what I mean? And you could tell he was so disappointed that he let Kohli down. And we're talking about the IPL, but the guy has some gumption. and he kept showing it. He kept showing it, made the international team. And I'm a fan too. I am a fan of Lord Siraj. And I think that he's been part of the change along with PAK. You know what I'm saying? That new blood that's really like, bro, cowboy up. You know what I'm saying? I don't care where we're at. I don't care who's hurt. I don't care who's in the lineup. We're going to go out there and we're going to bang.
There's so many comments coming in. I'm trying to look at as many as I can and listen to Gabe at the same time. They are absolutely hilarious and some good insight. I want to talk about some really important factors, I think, for this win for India that I haven't even seen in the comment section yet. In the end of England's second innings, I'll make sure I get this right. No, first innings, excuse me. Anderson was up there, and I remember the comment of he's a proper 11 batsman. That's hilarious. They beat him up on his like 13 or 14 balls. How many balls did this man see? He saw 16 balls. He got beat up. He didn't score any runs. He got hit like 7 or 8 times. He was a monster the inning before that as a bowler and the match before that. He got 0 wickets in the second innings. 0 wickets. And to someone's credit, they didn't mention about he was able to get any tail-enders. He wasn't able to get anyone out. I think them beating him up, and I'm not endorsing that kind of game plan, but that worked. I think it really, and I know he's a little older, this or that. He's got to rest for the next match.
Was it Muhammad Shami? Because I remember us watching that live. Was it Muhammad Shami that was beating him up?
It was all of them. I mean, anyone that was bowling, I think it was the combination of Shami and maybe Boomerang. They were beating this guy up.
Bro, I would have just given up my wicket at that point. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would have just given up my wicket.
It changed the way that he was able to be effective, at least, right? Anderson's still going to go out there and beat Anderson, frosted tips or not. But it was amazing how that changed things. You know, I got to throw that in there. But someone mentioned Pujara. He didn't last 50 overs, but this guy, I mean, we've talked about it here. This guy's been not Pujara-like. He was Pujara-like in their second innings. He got 45. Pujara did 206 balls. Okay, by my calculations, that's like 30-some-odd overs all by himself. That's impressive. Rahani, another guy crushed, right? 1 run on 23 balls. He came and got a half century. He got 61. I mean, it seems like, again, at the GABA, right? It seems like this guy shows up when he needs to. But again, Shami and Boomerang, combined score of 90. That tail end 90. So many unspoken heroes here. Root, obviously, he might deserve to be man of the match. He was absolutely phenomenal. But those are some of the lesser-known things I think really played a toll.
Nick, deliberately bowled no balls. Remember we were talking about that? Like, what's up with all these no balls from India? Yep. It was strategic. Like, no. Let me get another one. And it's like, holy cow. And like you said, age is a factor. It beats you up. Plus, if you're a bowler, you know, and you're just a tail ender, you're not trying to be up there and taking that punishment, taking that damage. You know what I'm saying, bro? And think about it. In baseball, one of the things pitchers hate doing is batting. Because the stuff they love to do, pitch guys inside, up and in, chin music, all that good stuff. Even when they throw in on you so you can foul it in and foul it off your own foot. You know what I mean, Nick? Like, all that stuff is strategic to make you uncomfortable when you're in the box. But now you've got what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Jimmy Anderson is not that guy. He doesn't really beat guys up like that. He's more of a finesse bowler, right? With his swing. Jofra Archer is more the guy that's gonna beat you up. But if you're a bowler, you also got to be expecting it, man. And I thought that was a good game plan. I would be interested to know, though, would they have done it if Archer was here? Because you know there was going to be some retribution. Like, oh, y'all beat up Jimmy? Oh, wait. Coley, wait till you get on strike. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, like I wonder if England not having that big intimidator in there really was like, okay, we can do whatever we want because none of these guys, Wood is faster than Jofra Archer, but Wood doesn't bully people like Jofra Archer. He's not knocking them out with concussions and stuff. You know what I mean? With that being said, man.
Let me just get to this point real quick. Jay says that Kohli, 4th-time best captain ever with 37 wins. He's been a captain for a while, but that is very, very impressive. I don't want to take anything away from Kohli with how he led his team. And let me just say one more thing about Siraj because I love Siraj so much. I looked at the stats. 7 test match. That's all he's pulled so far. 7 test match, 27 wickets. He averages almost 4 wickets every test match he goes out there.
Are you
You're
serious?
telling me you're going to leave him off the side for any reason? I don't think so.
Wow. I didn't, and I mean, I knew he was because he had the most amount of wickets. Was it 9 that he had in Australia?
I think he had 13 in Australia, and
was
I
it
think
13?
in 3 matches maybe.
And I mean, since this guy has made the international team, he's been absolutely amazing. Wow. On the England side, Nick, let me ask you a question. Eventually, you get back Wokes, right? You get back Wokes. You get back Stokes. Do you agree with me that they still need to keep Bairstow, and it's got to be a Rory Burns that's got to go? It's got to be a Sibley that's got to go. And from the bowlers, right? I mean, for me, I think that their bowling unit obviously has got to be Anderson, Archer. Whenever he gets, bro, I'm hearing bad things. I'm hearing Archer's going to be out for a while, bro. I mean, a while. And Jimmy Anderson, but who do you think is it Wood? Who's going to replace? Because you're right. For some reason, every time Chris Wokes plays, he helps. He contributes. Whether it's getting wickets, whether it's getting runs, he's got to be in the side. He's got to be in the side. Is it Sam Curran? And I love Sam Curran. I'm a CSK fan, but Sam Curran's played terribly. Is it Sam Curran? Who do you replace once Chris Wokes is ready to go?
Sam Curran's a possibility. What do they call that? A king pair or whatever? I mean, he had 2 golden ducks. That's just that's rough. But I mean, he's been around for long enough. I want to. You mentioned Bairstow. I don't think Ben Bairstow should be benched. I was just shocked that all of a sudden, with his 2 in his last performance, I get he had the half century in the innings before, that you're ready to put him in there. I was surprised by that. But I don't dislike Bairstow nearly as much as you do. But is it blasphemous to consider that he might be in the starting 2, the opening 2? I know he does it in T20. I know that's way different, but is it that blasphemous just to see if what can happen? Because you're right, Burns, I mean, Sibley, I haven't seen Sibley. He's had 1 good performance in like the last year that I can recall.
Right.
Chris Wokes is definitely a good answer there. I don't know if Mark Wood is the kind of – I would keep Ollie Robinson in there. I'm not sure how his batting is, but bowling, he's able to mislead some of those batsmen with his length, and then he's able to catch one when they're snoozing. So I would keep Ollie Robinson in there. I like him as a bowler for England. I would take out Wood. I would consider taking out Sam Curran, but he's got that all-rounder that you wouldn't mind. But I haven't seen him give a great performance in tests internationally ever since I've watched him play bowling-wise, right? He'll get 1 or 2. I don't think I've ever seen him get more than 2 wickets in a match. But maybe I'm not paying attention as much as I should. But, I mean, there's a lot of changes that need to happen. Someone's asking about the Ashes again. I still don't know because I don't fully trust Australia's side, even though it's in Australia. But until they get healthy, you can't really trust England's side. Moeen Ali, he's a nice piece, absolutely. But I personally don't know if I would replace Sam Curran before I replace Moeen Ali. I have not seen it internationally. He had that 1 match in India. Remember when he hit those 6s back to back to back, and then he got out. So there's a lot of question marks for England. There was a lot of question marks for India, but they took care of all those question marks in this match. Anything could happen in the next match. I don't think England's going to lay down and die. We'll see if they bring in a Chris Wokes. We'll see if they rest a Jimmy Anderson. But, man, you got to feel bad for Joe Root because he's getting 0 help right now. Literally 0 help.
People are saying Ali Pope in the chat. You know, maybe it is Ali Pope. You know what I mean? Go with the youngster. Maybe it is Ali Pope. But you got to make a change. You can't just go back out there and keep rolling the dice the same and come up with the same result. You know what I'm saying? And that was the next thing I was going to say. Somebody just stole it out of my mouth. What have we seen from my Trent Rockets? Even though, oh my gosh, how do you go from? But they got other guys, all right? Alex Hales is a gamer. Alex Hales is a gamer. Bring him in. See what he could do. What else? I mean, honestly, at this point, what else could go wrong? You know what I'm saying? What else could go wrong? Go get you Alex Hales in there and see what happens. I think that it's worth it before you toss the guy's career away. And I know that Alex Hales has some personal off the field issues, guys. I get that. We all make mistakes. And honestly, unless you've dealt with somebody who has personally who has had substance abuse issues in the past, then you don't really know. I know personally from dealing with some of my family members, but I think, listen, Hales is a T20 player. Hales is a player. All right, Hales, watch cricket. Cricket Tuesday today. All right, I'm done with this. Oh, Bairstow was a T20 or ODI player, right? He was a limited format. If you could play, you could play. If you could play, you could play, and you give him a chance. You put him out there. Yeah, Jason Roy, something. You got to do something.
I don't think Roy's the answer, but that's just my
Bro,
opinion.
he may not be the answer, but Sibley, to your point, has been terrible. Absolutely terrible. And Burns hasn't been much better. You know, until we get Ben Stokes back. And let me say this right now. I attack players all the time and umpires, but I completely agree with Ben Stokes, guys. You cannot just take Recently, we had a family friend close to the family, who unfortunately passed away and was dealing with some issues we didn't know. Okay, guys, you know, mental health is real. Mental health is real, and if a guy needs to check out, a guy needs to check out. Okay, I get it. We love the game, but you don't know what that player is dealing with personally or individually. Nick and I were talking about a baseball player a few years ago that nobody knew what happened to him. The guy was a World Series championship winning player, superstar, Ben Zobrist. Come to find out that part of the issues he was dealing with that season was that, you know, his wife stepped out on him and had an affair with his pastor or something crazy like that, and they embezzled a whole bunch of his money. You know what I mean? Like, people are going through stuff, and you don't know what their reasons are for checking out. But if it's to take care of your mental health, then take care of your mental health. I'm okay with Stokes being out. And if he misses the Ashes, bro, he misses the Ashes. It is what it is. You know what I mean? There'll be another Ashes in 2 years, but you got to make sure you're okay, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, speaking to mental health, that people don't know about, especially in sports. We just want our athletes to go out there and perform. We don't want to hear about personal issues. We don't want to hear that you fought with your wife. We don't want to, but those things happen. I mean, those things honestly happen, and mental health is one of those situations where people are now speaking up to it, but it hasn't like it's just started recently. So you have all those different situations going on, which, you know, might be in theory a good reason for the, you know, the fatigue bubble, whatever they call that in England. But what you lose is the consistency, right? You look at this Indian squad, even Siraj, yes, 7 test match, but it's been like the last big series that he's been a part of, right? You have some continuity, and we have Bumrah finally coming out of his dry spell of not being able to produce so much. Shami finally coming back into his own, coming off the injury, and just being a savage with the he got his 50 on a 6, my friend, on a 6. He went from 44 to 50. It was a nice 6 too. I mean, it was just, as an Indian fan, I get it. They were at the WTC final. You know, boo-hoo, Nick. No. They should have won that match, in my opinion, if they would have, you know, shown up just a little bit. Seeing what they've done in certain spots, this was nice to see. I don't care if it's a beat-up England team. It's still England at Lord's. It's really hard in cricket to beat a team on their grounds. And they were able to do it, and they were able to get a win when it could have easily been a draw. So it's just super, super impressive. There's so many things. I mean, the England side is put together with Scotch tape and popsicle sticks, for crying out loud. They've got to figure out what to do. They got plenty of guys that they can take from, who, by the way, are loose right now and in some kind of form playing in the 100. I know the 100 and test are 2 different worlds, but they're playing currently right now. They're pretty loose. They're playing in front of fans. They've been situated there. Might want to think about pulling this or that kind of situation. They're healthy, absolutely. But I mean, it's just, you can't say enough if you love cricket about the win that West Indies had against Pakistan, super close match, and the way India were able to claim a win. A few days ago, everyone in the comment section was saying, oh, win is the least likely thing. And it was, even at the start of day 5. and you see what happened. And it was great to see India's team come together. It seemed like they really were invested mentally. They had each other's backs. I don't know for sure, but it seemed like they had some kind of win or bust mentality when that day started. And it was really fun to unfold. If you haven't seen the highlights for it, guys, I'm sure you have. I'm sure you watched all matches. Check out the highlights. They are, unless you're an England fan, then don't watch them. They are quite a lot of fun to check out.
Nick, some of my parting thoughts here. Right now, India just went to the WTC. Okay, lost to New Zealand. Those are no question. That's 1 and 2. Those are 1 and 2 in the world. Period. Okay, 2 of the best test squads out there. But like we just mentioned, West Indies, and I'm not getting ahead of myself, but West Indies, got their 12 points today. Got their 12 points, right? Beating Pakistan, and looking forward to the next WTC championship. All right. These games right now matter. They're not going to look and say, oh, this person was hurt or this person wasn't in there or that person wasn't in there. So does England kind of just bide their time, or do they start making some choices? Somebody earlier put, and I wanted to the ECB needs to answer some tough questions. I agree. The English Cricket Board does need to answer some tough questions. And here we go. I think that there's so much talent over there. They're too good. You're right, to get swept. I don't see it being a whitewash or whatever, but don't be surprised if India ends up just winning the series. You know what I mean? The tour, I should say, out in England. With that being said, I am so stoked. And I mean, Nick, I am so stoked. We've got the IPL coming up. We've got the 100 championship. I mean, the games are almost done in the 100. That went by super quick. Somehow you're Birmingham Phoenix, like, went from bottom feeders, all right, scraping off gum off the floor, to all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. Or I have no idea. Is that what he did? And they're now at the top of the standings, unfortunately. Trent Rockets is falling. I think they're 3 or 4 right now. They might be able to hold on to get into the playoffs. Then after that, we got the IPL coming up. After that, we got what's after that? England, Australia.
We have the T20 World Cup. We have the Ashes.
T20 World Cup, and then the Ashes. So we got so much cricket moving forward, and we're so excited about it. Unfortunately, we're not able to live stream as much as we were because we both got school, and we're back in person this year, which is great for the kids, though, because it's a lot better. It's a better educational experience being in the classroom. So I do miss being home to be able to stream those games, but unfortunately, we're not able to. We'll still try to stream at least a game a week. Nick and I were here this Saturday and streamed a little bit, and hopefully we'll be able to come back next Saturday, stream another game. But man, parting thoughts to you, brother.
CPL is coming up as well. It's so much fun to talk about. I honestly am so excited and proud that we can jump on. We're not watching any cricket, and we got 200 people joining us to talk about this. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for joining us and sharing your thoughts. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. But, I mean, you're right. There's so much good cricket coming up. But these matches right here, they're not a championship match. They're not this or that. But they're a lot of fun. They're great matches, close matches, a lot of similarities between these two that we've been talking about. And to your credit, the points table, I know that not all teams have played in one match, but India's 1 and West Indies is 2. So let's celebrate that. Right? Maybe it's the summer of Nick and Gabe.
I'll take it.
But all I want to say is I'm going to, toot my own horn for a second. I reverse mushed the tail enders. You're welcome. I reverse mushed the way India was playing. You're welcome. And it's so much fun to see. They said 2 of the umpires were like on the elite list. They were obviously against India because they were making some bad missed calls. If that's the best there is, then maybe Gabe has some points to what he's saying with the umpires, right? Don't get him going. But on a serious note, so much fun that everyone's able to show up with us and talk about this, and we can enjoy this together. Great cricket matches, and I'm excited to see what happens in the future. Guys, please don't forget to like the stream if you haven't done so already. Just hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out Cricket Tuesday that we just posted on Boring Reviews. And, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you being patient with us. And, it's a good day when India wins cricket. It's a good day. It's a sad day when my friend England loses, but, it is what it is. But, yeah, appreciate you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Gabe, both our teams won today. I don't think that happens too often. I'm real happy. I hear your Trent Rockets are in an elimination match next, so they'll be knocked out, and I'll be even more happy.
Easy. You still got a chance. I'd like to be.
Honestly, Phoenix can clinch the finals, baby.
I would love to see a Phoenix Trent championship.
Really?
That would be so much fun.
Really?
And I make it. We may have to get and live stream that match. We're not making it. We're not making it.
I'm feeling scratchiness.
Oh, guys, but thanks so much, man. See you during the next live stream. Look out for Cricket Tuesday. And until next time, that's 6 runs.
Adios, guys. Take care.